Alright, y'all, this video is going to be about Marc Lamont Hill, who was a contributor at CNN a while ago before he got fired, right? So now he's on, it's called BNC News, Black News, that's the network or whatever. It's new. So he's having a debate with Judge Joe Brown, former Judge Joe Brown on TV. Remember him? So Judge Joe Brown, whew, when I tell you in this interview, it's 18 minutes and 35 seconds, y'all. Y'all can check it out on YouTube. I recommend it. It's about regarding the Bill Cosby case, right? So here's what it's labeled, okay? Marc Lamont Hill and Judge Joe Brown get into a heated debate on the media's portrayal of Bill Cosby. Okay? Now, uh, I, okay, so so basically, this is what Lamont Hill feels about it, right? Let me just let y'all listen.
I said, Bill Cosby is not innocent. He has not been exonerated. His release means that Cosby, a sexual predator, was incarcerated within a criminal legal system that has as little regard for its own rules and procedures as does Cosby for his victims. And you responded, you said,
he hasn't had any. Is a baseless accusation. It has no weight.
So under the law, I think we're on the same page again. But part of the problem.
Is in the fourth and fifth grade, not law school. American law means when somebody makes an accusation, that's all it is. It has no weight. If there's probable cause, you have somebody answer the complaint. But if you cannot find someone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, they have done nothing. They walk out of there with their presumption of innocence intact. How clear can that be? There is nothing to answer.
I think that
he had a right to remain
I think that part is clear. No, I think that part is clear, Judge. Let me move the conversation forward.
You can't get a word in.
So he stands.
Right. So I guess right. So what I want to do is just move the conversation up a little bit. I think you and I agree that legally he's not guilty. That legally he doesn't have any burden of proof. The state does, and it hasn't met that. Legally, his rights were violated. We're on the same page about that. I'm saying the legal question to me is rock solid. But I think what was happening yesterday was people were conflating those two things. They were acting as if because the state didn't meet its burden and because he was released based on the fact that he didn't get due process, or his due process rights were violated, that was somehow proof of the belief that many people had that Cosby was actually not just legally not guilty, but actually didn't do anything at the moral and ethical level. And hold on one second. I just want to put.
Okay, go ahead.
No, let me put the question to you. So I guess what I'm saying is, can we hold space for two ideas at the same time? Can someone, under the eyes of the law, be completely not guilty, and at the same time, can we have a public conversation? Because I know you talk about culture, you talk about our community, you talk about values. Can we also talk about the fact that someone can be doing great harm and even be a predator at the same time that legally they're all the things you just said?
No, because the law presumes them innocent until you prove them guilty. It is a specious thing. That's part of this new paradigm where everybody gets a trophy, a participation ribbon. Nobody's feelings get hurt. Freedom of speech gets restricted.
I'm going to just stop it right there. Y'all can check it out for yourself, but I like a good debate. I like to hear people's opinion and see, especially because he used to be a former judge, on a TV show or whatever like that. So he's knowledgeable on certain stuff. And I'm not saying Marc Lamont Hill is not knowledgeable on certain stuff, but he tend to go more with his feelings versus the law. And here's my thing on this, right? That's got brought up in the situation with Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown, well, Marc Lamont Hill first, he was trying to say, well, Judge, don't you think if you basically you drink or you give someone pills or whatever, you shouldn't sleep with them because they can't consent? So the judge was saying, well, that's what they did back in the day. Basically, that's what they did. They Quaaludes were a thing. They drink, they did coke, and they all did stuff together. To be honest with you, most of them were like high up and on that stuff. And whatever it is that they drug up choice back in that days, and they did stuff together. So basically, what's his face? Marc Lamont Hill was like, well, that's the R word. I can't say that because of YouTube, but that's the R word. You rhymes with tape. You take her. You know, that's what that is. That's what Marc Lamont Hill said. And the judge was like, no, that's a good time. That's what they did back in the day. It wasn't up until now they want to make a big fuss about it and trying to make it seem like it's, you know, that whole thing or whatever. So I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny because Marc Lamont Hill couldn't get a word in. Judge Joe Brown was just eating them up at every angle. And the truth of the matter is, I I understand if you like don't really know someone and they're high or whatever, and you like they out of it. But if he's saying that he never, you know, sex assault anyone, then and oh, it's not like you know how the media told us like you would think like okay he slipped it in there without them knowing, but according to him he's like they know I provided it to them, they willingly take it. But Marc Lamont Hill response was, so because they willingly take it, does that mean you know you take advantage of them? And he was just like, if they keep coming back, which a lot of them will be like the first time and the second time, if they keep coming back, then that must be mean it is a neutral thing between the two of them. So why is it now that they're saying that he has assault them? Why? Because there's possible money, there's attention that they can get, there could be revenge because a lot of these women wanted to be actresses and their career didn't take off. So they may look at him like, you know, I went up there thinking I was going to do this, that, and third and get a career out of it, and nothing happened. So it could be all sorts of a reason. But you know what in this interview that really blew me that I wish they would have talked more into it? But it was like, at this point, they were just talking over each other, was the Beverly Johnson situation. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm not going to do it on this video, like a breakdown of how they allow Beverly Johnson to lie, but low-key, Whoopi Goldberg wanted to get in her, but I'm going to get into that whole thing. I'm going to get on that with another video, though. But let me just say this. Beverly Johnson lied. And I ain't going to lie to you. When it first... I'm going to get into that later. But let me just say this. He did call Beverly Johnson out on The View. He called her out. And Marc Lamont was talking over him, and Judge Brown was just like, see, you're trying to talk over, you don't want me to get the truth out, and you know you're... It was funny, though, but I wish they had get to talk more into it, because I wonder if he peeped everything that I peeped. I'm going to do a breakdown on that, on how they allowed, basically, because Beverly Johnson is black, and she's a supermodel, they wanted to validate the situation, because there were people in the black community that wasn't having it and felt like this is a setup, like this doesn't sound right. I'm gonna do a full breakdown and it's late, but I'm gonna do it anyway because at that time I wasn't really into YouTube like that. But I'm gonna do a breakdown on that, y'all. Please, I'm gonna do it tonight. I think I'm gonna do it tonight. But anyway, so basically they going back and forth, and he's basically George Joe Brown whole thing is this: the law is the law. Y'all shouldn't have been shocked and surprised in the first place because it reached its statute. It reaches limit. And then you getting these girls from 10, 20, 30 years ago making these claims. Like, how can you prove anything? You can't prove anything. And how is it that they get to testify? So he was saying, basically, Judge Brown said, I don't know why you or anybody else was shocked because he talked to every lawyer and no lawyers were shocked. And so Judge Brown got an issue with people like Marc Lamont Hill in the mainstream media, pretty much making it seem like something that it was not. If the media had told the truth from the beginning, no one would have been shocked. Everyone would have been informed and would already know, well, it shouldn't have gone to trial in the first place. Let's keep that real. Okay? And so when Marc Lamont Hill brought up, well, what about, we know the law, but what about the fact that He admitted to. He said, "So what?" He admitted to giving it to him. They willingly took it. They didn't just shove him down the throat. You can tell Judge Joe Brown don't like Marc Lamont Hill. He was just like in the camera, like what? He wanted to jump through that screen and slap Marc Lamont Hill. And you just look at the comment section. It is hard to find any support for Marc Lamont Hill in his stance on this. A lot of people, especially in the black community, they're not buying it. They don't believe it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I was someone who was emotional, and I just say I've written Bill Cosby off. But when my cousin Whitney got on me and she called out Beverly Johnson from her first interview, and then I remember, y'all, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna stop this video here. Basically, y'all gotta check the video out, man. Check it out for yourself. I think it's entertaining. It's a good video, but he dog walked Marc Lamont. Marc Lamont couldn't get a word in, basically, y'all. But comment, like, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm gonna do that video, a breakdown of Beverly Johnson and why they did what they did. And it was for the black community. But yeah.